Welcome. Hello, new subbies. Welcome in. Welcome in. This is day 13. Before I start, I want to say thank y'all for gathering yourselves to watch my videos, to hit that like. Thank y'all for y'all support. Now, I do want you guys to support me on my vlog channel. So, we have 29 days till Beyonce. Wait, let me look. Because it said 29 days, but let me do a deep dive before I start. Let me do. I'm sorry, 30 days to be honest. 30 days. 30, you have 30 days. So I have 30 days. You guys will get a vlog because I have outfits to pick out. I want to do I'm letting you guys know before we get into the Diddy. I'm going to have outfits. You're going to come with me and do my maintenance. There'll be some maintenance in there: hair, nails, feet. Um, what else I have to do? Also, going to see me order stuff that's needed, like my clothes, undergarments, shoes. Yes, I said undergarments, shoes. Honey, I act like I'm going to go meet my man. Y'all know I'm a Beyonce stan. I'm like I'm finna go meet my man, but I'm not. But it's Houston, Texas, and plus I haven't. And y'all gonna see me eat American Deli. I haven't had American Deli in a year. Listen, it's gonna be Houston. So if y'all know any Houston boys with the grills that are nice men, let me know. Okay, let me know. I'm gonna be in Houston, Texas. I'm gonna see the Houston trails out there. Okay. All right, y'all. So now let's get into Diddy. Oh, so I will post the vlog every week. It's going to be a 3 day short vlog, and then we'll add it up to get longer. So just get ready. Starting Wednesday, I'm going to record my vlog, and I will drop it on Saturday, and it'll start a new day for us. And I'm gonna try to put space out the days. So yeah, I'm going to be on vacation for 2 days on the 30th. So yeah, you'll get an end of vlog then. Okay. All right. So now we are in a day 13 of the Diddy trial. We are in day 13, y'all. I don't know how long we got to go. I think they did get out at 4 p.m. today, and I believe they went ahead and finished with Mia. Now they done had some sketches with Mia, and they weren't. I guess they weren't supposed to, y'all. But there's a little. Her hair's covering her face. You don't see her face, so there is a sketching of Mia, but you don't see her face, which is great, which is perfect. Um, they had went ahead. Let's see. Now, if I'm reading this right, they have applied for Rule 7 subpoenas. They supposed to have Sunday night. Miss Ventura's counsel is out of the country, so I guess whoever they're going to bring for that. Okay, so I just want to let y'all know that, and we're going to go into day 13. Now, yesterday was a lot. It was a lot for everyone to recap. What happened with Mia's telling her side. It was a lot. Okay, and FYI, has been set that lovely president that folks love, if he feels like he want to pardon Diddy, he will be pardoning Diddy once he get the information he need after this case. So I'm gonna tell y'all now, Diddy might not be in for long, but he's talking about pardoning him already, and Diddy ain't been sentenced. So I just want y'all to be well aware. Okay, so let's get into what happened this morning, honey. So they asked her about KK, right? They asked her about Miss KK. If you don't know, Miss KK is basically is his new assistant at the time, okay? So they said, what was KK answer? Hold on, let me go back because it said, how did it make you feel? We just gonna start with that. Hold on. I want to make sure I start right. I guess we don't get an introduction to everything. So they come in. We're going to start with this and then we'll jump into how KK made her feel. So I guess she had talked to KK about something, right? Oh, well, here you go, right here. Ooh, ooh. You can get the whole thing right here. Let's go all the way to the top, around and around. Okay, so before the jury came in, they said that what was the issue with the charts? So they basically Alice Alexandra Shapiro, we open object to entitled escort. They didn't want to use the word escort anymore. They didn't want to say, talking about the escorts. They want to use something else, right? They don't want to use that word anymore. They felt like it's a dirty word. Now, this is from the defense team. They felt like it's a dirty, dirty word. And they was just saying, they don't know if the escorts traveled to New York, that they actually went to the hotel. And, prosecutors say, we discussed, it was discussed, you know what I'm saying? And Shapiro was like, the government can make an argument that can interference may be made. And then, the judge say, okay, well, that is fair. So then they asked the prosecutor, and it was like, okay, the title is out. So they all agreed to stop using the title escort. Now, this is where it go crazy. So then she decided to say what she have. She have, records like go to the room, so and so in the hotel. We have removed the header. We will show the escort was going to the hotel. She still using escort. And this one, then she said that's escort Jules Theodore. Okay. They was, Shapiro say, we'll take what the court give us. They say anything else on the summary exhibits we're running to jurors. So jury was let's get ready. Can we have Mia back? So they decided to have Mia back before the jury come in. So then they all brought the jury in. Then here comes Mia. And they asked Mia some questions and they went ahead and proceed, with the questions that they were going to have Mia, and let Mia decide to go ahead and finish her testimony today, right? So they asked, did she call any employees? Say she was surrounded by them and everyone referred to each other that way. And they asked her, did she date employees? Remember, she said she dated Matt. Now they asked her this again. And they asked her, were you and Matt hang out normally? She said, no, they had an apartment together in New York, but they rarely saw each other at the same time. And she asked her, why did she go to South Africa? She said that Puff told her to accompany Cassie while she was shooting the movie Honey 3. And she said that Cass had caught Puffy cheating on her with Gina. She was devastated. Then they asked her reaction. That was on the phone. He's in Miami. Then she stopped answering his phone calls because obviously, he found out that she found out she was getting played like this whole time. You dragging her and everything else, and boom, here comes Gina. All of a sudden, here come the media and Gina saying y'all together, and the whole time I'm sitting here going through all like what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So she stopped. Cassie was like, hey, answer your phone calls. You just gonna be mad at me. Right? So then this is where they talk about KK. And they brought the gray areas, right? So they read the messages and it says KK said they had like a conversation. And then she said that they asked her, say, Puff wants to talk to you. She said, who is that? PD wants to talk to you. That's what KK sent her. So then the prosecutor said, well, who is that? She said, that's Puff. And she said, audio call not completed. I was not answering calls because I spoke with Puff. He threatened to unalive me. And she said that he was threatening to fire her. He said she had to leave and fly back, and he threatened to unalive her. And then KK wrote, I need to talk to her, not sure what to do. He needs you to call him right now or you don't have a job. So KK told her, listen, if you don't call Puff and not answer his phone calls, he's going to fire you. It's just what it is. He's firing you today. Like that's what's up. That's just what it is. Like KK was like, listen, he gonna fire you, girl. So you might want to answer these phone calls, get yelled at, whatever it is you gonna get. Okay. And then They asked her how did it make her feel. She said she felt desperate. She was terrified and she got sad. And she said that she didn't answer KK call. She said she texted back and that she had fallen asleep. It sucks to wake up to this every morning. I'm being ish on from all sides. I'm in a effed up spot. So basically, I guess she trying to say that Cassie is putting her in a position too. That's exactly what she's saying. And then she, they asked what was KK answer. She said, can you call me when you get a chance? I'm having anxiety attack and night fears. And she said she was having that about Puff. And the screenshots that she had from the WhatsApp that she screenshot from Puff, and every other phones, every time there was a conversation or what, she was screenshotted. And then she said that he wrote her, if you don't call me in 2 minutes, I'm going to tell everything. You're fired. FABC and their lawyers, let's go to war. And so they asked her what they mean by that. And he said he'll tell Cassie about the essay. Meaning he gonna tell her that basically he wasn't gonna tell her he essayed her. He was gonna make it look like they had something going on just to piss Cassie off if she didn't answer the phone. Like that's what he was saying. And then they asked her what she mean by what he meant by FABC. I had written a show based on my life as an assistant. It hit the press, and the most I ever got. He was threatening to take that away, and meaning he wasn't going to air the show at all. And he said, call me now, now. Then don't ever call me again. I wrote back that I've been asleep. And they asked, was that in the screenshot? She said, yeah. And then she emailed him, and then it was emailed to KK. She said, Mia told in the email, I'm really sorry, Puff. You know I love you, smiley face. I paid for my own fight. It will cost to change it. I'm sorry to ask for the money. I'm sorry. I want to make sure you are good. At the end of the day, regardless, I love you. And she said she had something because he told her to return. Then he told her to stay, and she couldn't afford the change fees. So she told him, Cece says she really need him right now. But of course, I'll do whatever you want. I love you. And she said Cece is what she called Cassie. So basically, a flight from New York to anywhere from the United States to Africa is not cheap. So you have to understand it's already $1,800 to $2,000, right? So $1,800, $2,000. So if you want to change your flight, you're going to be paying an additional $500 or $600. So she hasn't got paid yet from him. So imagine all the money she used to book a hotel, pay for her flight. She got to eat and everything else, and then to accommodate the person she's working for. It's crazy work. Okay. They asked her, why did you write that? She said, I worked for him. To him, that's all that mattered. Why did you CC Miss KK? Because I needed an answer. I was in limbo. When you got back from South Africa, where did you work? She said the office in LA. And they asked her, did she have less access to Combs? And she said she had much less access to him. She didn't see him that much. Basically, it was better for her. And they said it to make your job much easier or harder. She said it made it almost impossible. I needed his okay for everything, but I couldn't get any responses from him. How did it make you feel? She said she felt defeated. So she really wasn't comfortable because he done made it worse to saying, hey, every time she needs something, she need to contact me. And then on top of that, ain't no telling how long you got to wait for his answer, because if he's in New York or if he's over now in South Africa, time difference, then you got to sit here to, let's say LA is 3 hours behind from New York. So he probably already in the groove of whatever he doing and taking his sweet time to answer. Child, he know what he was doing. She said she got a note from HR to her, and it was dated March 31st, 2011. Okay. And they told her that she was suspended without pay. And she said the reason why she was suspended because he came in, he didn't see that she have all laid out, have that she didn't lay all the options out. So he started ranting, and she tried to point out the other options. And James Cruz was there with her. He worked for Puff like a manager role, and he asked for some tickets. So, she wrote back, Puff is currently firing me right now. He wrote back, laugh out loud. I wrote back, no, seriously, sad face. What is this? So she emailed D-Rock on March 25th, 2011. And she wrote him and said that Diddy went bat-ish crazy about his shirt. And they asked her where Puff was when she sent this out. And he said that he was with D-Rock going to the doctor and some other errands. So she asked D-Rock to give her a heads up before they came back so she could be out of the way. And that's when HR decided to tell her that she was suspended without pay. Right? So Mia said, so they asked Mia, does the document reasons you're suspended? And she said, no, HR told me Puff said I was being insubordinate. And they asked her, did you get on the document any other documents like this from HR? She said, yeah. How did it make you feel? She said she felt sad that she did something wrong to Puff, meaning she didn't want to do anything wrong to him. So he suspended her. But guess what, y'all? She continued to work for Diddy. So as she continued to work for Diddy, she didn't feel like, they asked her, did she feel like she could leave her job? And she said that wasn't a thought. I had to try to run away before and it didn't work. So basically she said, listen, I was trying to leave my job that didn't work. I've been blackballed. And she said, when they asked her if she could feel like she'd get another job, she said, oh no, he would have made sure she couldn't work for nobody else. And she was scared of him. And basically, if y'all pay attention to everybody that says that's been on the stand that's worked for him, they have said they've been blackballed in any kind of way, and they cannot work if they leave him for some reason. But this is who Trump want to pardon. This is who he wants to pardon. Okay. Then they asked her, when you tried to win from your job, New Year's from 2010 to 2011, they asked what was her location. She said it was in St. Bart's. And they asked who was there. She said it was her, Puff, Kim, the kids, and some others. And they asked where did she stay? A yacht that Puff chartered. So she stayed on the yacht. What did Mr. Combs ask you to do? She said he asked her to count the money in the safe. He yelled at her and said she was counting too slow. So then he started to chase her and told her, you better learn to walk on water like Jesus. Bitch, get the fuck out of here. He told her she better learn to walk on water like Jesus and get the fuck out of there. So then they say, well, whose job was it to count the money that goes in the safe? She said it was security. She said she had asked the crew to take her to land, but it was a hurricane or something, so she had to hide on the third floor. And they asked her who spoke to her. She said, Kim. She tried to console me and say, don't worry about it. I saw Puff coming toward me, and I ran and hid in the crew cabin. So Kim was basically telling her, listen, don't worry about it. Like, don't worry about it. We're gonna handle this. So Kim knew how he was. She knew. Did the crew take you to land in the tender boat? She said yes, but then they got a call. I had to come back. Were you able to leave the country? She said no. My passport was on the boat, and Puff had it. Did she go back to the boat? She said yeah. She had no choice but to go back to the boat. Her passport was there. Her stuff was there. So, I mean, she had no choice. Then she was told to get in the car to go on a plane to Vegas with Puff. And they asked her in the car, could you hear his phone call? And she said he was telling his chief of staff, I need to be suspended. Making up a story I didn't get to finish. He yelled, shut the F up. So she left Mr. Combs' company in 2017. She spoke with Brian Offit. They were editing the Bad Boy documentary, and she was producing that. And Brian told her that Diddy wanted to end Revolt Films, and the company was going away in 2017. Now, the company didn't go. It's strange he told her that because the company he didn't part his ways from the company until we was finding out about the lawsuit. And then once that video came out, which was in 2023, 2022, 2023, and he let go of Revolt. So from 2017 to 2023, 4 years later, you lied about ending something that you didn't end. Let's keep going. And it asked, how did she feel? She said, I think I saw snot coming out my nose for a while. I was worried. I had been told Revolt Films, the only company that had made money that year. And she felt like she did something wrong. So when she had a conversation with Brian, they said that they would work out a severance pay, but it was the holidays. And then she spoke to KK, and she had a little bit of time to horrifically process what had happened. KK said, "You're still working on a documentary." And she did work on a documentary until March or April. And she said she cried herself to sleep. She ignored all the calls. Um, they asked her, did she have a conversation with Cassie after? I could never tell you who was with or without Puff, so I didn't respond. So she didn't know who was with him or was not with him. She was very disappointed. She went ahead and didn't respond to the phone call. She was just like, I'm done with it. KK said Puff couldn't believe that I would go against him. I had gotten an employment attorney. KK say Puff couldn't believe it. She got paid 9 months after her attorney proposed a mediation. They asked for like $10 million. And they asked her who came with that figure, who came up with the amount. She said her lawyers. And they asked her, did she bring up the violent incident? She said a few of them. I felt that I was doing something horrible. I was breaking the idea of confidentiality, telling secrets. I felt wrong and shameful. Did you bring up the essay? She said she didn't tell nobody about the essay. She said she was going to die with that. She wasn't going to tell nobody. So at the end of the day, she received $200,000. And her lawyers got that much. And they asked, what was it for? She said, bonuses I hadn't been paid and out of pocket. So those were her bonuses. They asked her, would she return the money to have this never happen? Brian still said, objection overruled. Oh, absolutely. Do you have any other lawsuits against Mr. Combs? And she said no. Then they asked her, did she contact Mr. Combs again? She said yeah. She said when Kim died and when Andre Harrell died. Did you tell him you loved him? And she said yes, that's how I spoke to him. Are you aware of Cassie's lawsuit? She said yes, November 2023. They asked have she spoke to Cassie since the lawsuit. She said yes, we talk a lot, then not. We both hide from our phones in depression thing. Then a few days ago, just personal stuff, and I love yous. Did you speak about your testimonies? And she said no. After the suit in November, did anyone contact you? She said D-Rock contact her because he was like a big brother to her. And he said, how are you, or what did you respond? He said it was said D-Rock with all the exclamation points. And that's how she responded. And she said, because I love exclamation points and D-Rock. And she said, I understand D-Rock, our doc, who is no longer with Puff. He and his wife had a restaurant in Poconos. And he wrote, I'm about to call you. And that was like, what date was that? She said November 30th. She asked if D-Rock called. She said, yeah. They asked what happened. They said objection. And then judge said, ask again. Well, what did he say? Overruled. He started with personal stuff. And then he said, this dude is crazy. It wasn't like that. It was normal fighting. So D-Rock is implying that it wasn't like people thought it was, that him and Cassie was just having normal fighting. It was normal to fight that way. That's some crazy ass shit. That it was normal. They say, was it? She said, absolutely not. D-Rock said, Puff messaged you. He replied, everyone agreed. I automatically thought, oh my God, still objection ground, still non-responsive. So they decided to take said sidebar, and they took a break. So when they come back, they continue the conversation about D-Rock. So she basically said that D-Rock told her that he just landed in Miami. He was going to be at Puff's. He was going to take care of Christian. D-Rock said, maybe you should say something. And she said I pretended I talked to Puff. So she basically pretended to say, hey, you know what, I'm going to talk to Puff. But she never did. She said she was scared. He called me right after D-Rock. I threw my phone behind the couch and ran out. It was so triggering. And she said, did she hear from D-Rock? And said, yeah, what did D-Rock write? She said that your boy doesn't want you to do anything, just to talk. I didn't want to. I just wanted to go away. And then D-Rock wrote, I can't believe you're not hitting me back. And it was February 22nd, 2024. She said, I knew he wouldn't stop. So I wrote back, I was scuba diving all day and didn't have my phone on the boat. And she said that wasn't true. She told D-Rock, I called Puff, but there was no answer. She said she wanted to just play mutual about everything. And D-Rock asked her, how can I send you something? What do you think he meant? She said money. I said, no, I'm always ready to help y'all out. And, she told him that she didn't want him to send him anything. And he said, I'm allowed to send a sister gift. She said, no, no, I don't want anything from D-Rock that comes from Diddy, because I know for sure that it's not going to be what it's supposed to be. So then they asked her, what did you think D-Rock was trying to do? She said, find out for Puff I was a threat. Did Mr. Combs text you in February 2024? She said, yes. He said, call me when you have a 10 minutes, love. This one on February 7th, 2027, he said, I need my memory jogged. She said she didn't respond to him. She didn't want anything to do with him. He was a person that she was traumatized by. So she knew he was just capping, like it was a front. What was the last message? I think so. I got some objections sustained. And they asked her, do you work now? She said, no, I suffer from complex PTSD. And judge said sidebar. And they asked, what are the symptoms? So when the judge says sidebar, he's telling her to explain more, like we need more, right? And she said that she misinterpreted emails. Someone calls her name from across the room. All of the feelings of getting in trouble come flooding back. I triple guessed myself. They asked who calls her. She said Puff. So they took another break. They came back. Now, this is Judge asked Mr. Steele, can you put the binders on the jury chairs? Meaning they're gonna put some binders there. Ms. Amar, do you have any objections? They're on exhibit. We are requesting hearsay redactions too. We can hash it out. And they put the binders in the chairs. So they brought everyone back in and they started to do their cross-examination. And when I first heard that Mia was getting cross-examined, I was like, oh, Lord, I'm going to pray for her. Because if she comes in, like they say, she's fragile, she's doing a lot of things, we know something is wrong. Okay, so let's go with the cross-examination. So Brian Steele decided to cross-examine Mia. All right. So he says, because of Sean Combs, you suffer a great deal, right? She said, right. Just seeing him call your number made you throw your phone. True? She said, true. He made you do things that are unthinkable. She said, yes. Make you sleep in a room with the lock and coming in and violating you in the most unthinkable way. True? She said, true. You said that Sean Combs conducted what was the worst thing ever happened to you, right? She says, yes. Look at the notebook. So they looked at the notebook. I moved for admission 1702 to 1710. So prosecutor said, these are under sealed. So still say, whatever the court says, we have redacted numerous redacted versions. Mia, this is a social media post by you in 2013. She said, yes. Is this your account? This is what you're doing. She said, yes, it's my personal account. He said, you wrote, this is what we do when you're not around. I am Diddy Ciroc, right? She said, yes. You tagged him years after you said he ordered you. She said, yes. This is July 4th, 2013. Who hands are those? She said, Cassie and me. You wrote Rich as F and CC. Who is CC? And she said that was Cassie. What does Cece stand for? It's just a nickname. Have you heard Cassie Combs? Oh, that makes sense. Here you say he got a coffee for you in Forbes list. Yes. So basically, I guess Cassie was saying that she was his wife and using Cassie Combs. I mean, it was common law. But heck, he had a lot of wives that was common law, but continue. That's how he didn't get as long as a bigamist. So he said, Combs, Mr. Steele said, you say he made you take rugs against your will at Burning Man, but you post about it. She said, right. You post a picture with him, a man terrorizing you. She said, yes. And this video depicting Mr. Combs at the doctor delivering your baby, it was a funny video. I'm proud to be in it. Mr. Combs' birthday is significant to you too. You did 2 shots with him. She said, yes. Alcohol overcome you? She said, yeah. You believe you were drugged? I didn't say that. A person you really didn't know put his mouth on your mouth without permission, right? She said, yes. And he says, your hands went up hands up your dress, his hands up your dress and onto your person. Remember that? It was paralyzing. She said, yes. You woke up in the chair. You told the jury that. She said, yes, she told the jury that. But this message in this one, another same day posting, the anniversary of you being essayed by Sean Combs, according to your testimony, she said, I don't celebrate it as an anniversary of that, but his birthday. And so he said, why did you write it? She said, thank you for giving me an extended family for life. You're effing funny. I love you. So Mr. Steele said, you're in a tutu next to Mr. Combs. And she said, yes. He's holding his private part in his hand. She said, I guess so. So he said, you were so proud of Mr. Sean Combs. She said, of course. You posted the great times. You wrote extended family for life. You forever one of my great fans. This about the man who traumatized you? She said, I wrote that. I wrote it. I know what I wrote. That's what she said. I'm just saying, that's how it sounded to me. And then she asked, she said, who was your mentor brother you're writing about? She said, Prof, you did college. A lot of them are you, a collage, I'm sorry. A lot of them are you and Mr. Combs. You picked out the thumbnails, right? She said, right. Why did you write, who let me have my hair like that? And she said, you and Mr. Combs. He said, right. He asked her about the billboard in Times Square. She said it was a play, the name and lights, and this photo was her and Cassie going to Instaball. And so he continued to ask her about Mr. Combs, have to approve both of them going on that trip. She said, absolutely. In this photo, she said that Cassie and her were in the Sprinter van on the way to Cassie Club appearance, which was the W Hotel in Instaball. And she wrote about Muhammad Ali's birthday with Puff. She took the photo. Then she took another photo. She said, I'm sure I took multiple, but this was the best one. This is November 4, 5 years after you essayed and assaulted. She said, yeah. And she said, thank you for being my friend. Hashtag happy birthday, Diddy. Hashtag I'm so hot. I'm throwing my panties at you. And Mr. Steele said, you have Mr. Combs shirtless in 2 of the pictures. She said he's always shirtless. So then he asked Mia, you have said you was essayed so many times you can't remember. Prosecution said objection mistakes the testimony. The judge says sustained. So they asked her, has she met with the prosecutor? She said, yeah, more than, he asked, was it more than 27 times? She said, oh, I don't remember. She don't know the number. She knows she met with him. We met with the prosecutors, right? And then she said, do you remember telling you don't remember? He said, you mean to tell me you don't remember how many times you was essayed? She said, I don't know if I phrased it that way. And then she said, he said, this was had ruined you, right? You were broken. Yes, the essay was part of the way he ruined me. She said, yeah. So then He said, you wrote, thank you for being a good, kind of crazy, inspire me every day. She said, I don't think people wrote bad stuff about their life on Instagram back then. And he asked her, well, why would you promote it? It was my job to promote. It was a cycle of ups and downs. When he was calling me his best friend, I wasn't afraid of him. You weren't afraid of the man who stole your innocent objection overruled. You have family. She says she has a parent, she has a sister and friends. And the prosecutor asked the time frame. Let me see something. And she said, when you posted this, you still had a friend. That's what he asked her. He said, I had no sound. She said, I had no sounding board. I had to get permission to go to my grandfather's funeral. The jury was an email with D Rock. You could express yourself, right? She said she reached out to him. Was this, my friends at Funny or Die? I'm in the video. What did you write? You know you are a celebrity when you're spraying champagne at Funny or Die. What is this? My birthday post for Justin Puff's son. And they asked her about another one. She said it was a rock promo, hashtag. And they said she was in it. She said yes. Then he asked her, did you ever say anything that Mr. Combs violated? Say anything that Mr. Combs violated you? She said never. He said, here, Puff and Jimmy Lovin' legends. He traumatized you? She said, yeah. And then, so basically, let me tell you about defense. They're looking at things. And then he said, so you wrote, watch Puff tonight on Fuse. Today, I convinced him to make a door on his TV set and called it Diddy Door. You post a picture of the person who has ruined your life and my boss. Who made you post this? She said, nobody. Oh, Lord Jesus. So then he said, how do you forget about waking up with a man on top having his way with you? She said, I was in fear of upsetting him. The moments other than when we were best friends. How are you best friend with a man who you say aren't you? Asked my therapist. What did you write? F5 Patron with a photo of Puff dancing with his tequila. And in the photo, Mr. Combs is close to you. She said, yes. Are you producing the show? Funny or Die? Did it. But I was getting producer credits. Can we get a sidebar? We will give all the jurors a lunch break. We'll stay and hash it out. All right. So then Mia exit. So the judge calls for the prosecutor. And she says the witness has not burden to bring further evidence to support her claims. It's our burden. Meaning, basically, they're trying to say she don't have anything to support the claims to show that it happened. And Mr. Steele, when the judge asked Mr. Steele, you'll have to ask, does she have texts or emails or something she'd have knowledge of? And he said, understood. So they all went to break, right? So then they come back and they sit down. And after they come back from lunch or whatever, the judge asked prosecutor they say they just gave us a video, say they intended to use in the violation of the court's order. And then he asked Mr. Steele, it's a very short video, a happy birthday to Mr. Combs 2024. It shows her demeanor. It's cumulative. I hope I said it right. Why was it turned over earlier? Meaning, okay, well, why didn't nobody show this earlier to us till we can go ahead and use this during the cross-examination? So Mr. Steele said, I only got it last night. It's video and audio. The court should know I gave our impeachment days ago. I don't do that. I know the court doesn't know me. He said, how long? 8 seconds. No. So prosecutor, she said, no, it's 20 seconds. And they gave us his exhibits before and after. This was 1749 and 1751. I don't know why they did that, why they withheld this one. He said, I don't understand what you just said. Why did you decide to use it? Yesterday? He asked, when did he decide to use it, right? So he was like, the judge like, listen, I don't understand why y'all, what's all of this? Basically, he's basically saying, why nobody ain't use it? Like, why everybody sitting up here acting like they gonna use it and they ain't use it, right? So the judge ain't having it with nobody. So Brian said he wanted to use it yesterday. 1750 is excluded. So he went ahead and added in to the exhibit that they're going to show into the court. So Shapiro said, I understand it's 30 seconds. It shows her different than how she presented herself here. When was it marked with a number? He say, I don't know. We had to redact it. When did the defense team review it? He said they reviewed it yesterday. Okay. Why was it not reviewed? So Shapiro said we didn't even think of it until we saw how she presented herself. He said, well, how was that possible? How y'all gonna sit here and tell us that y'all didn't think of this yesterday, and all of a sudden, now y'all thinking this video after the way that she presented herself after y'all had what y'all needed to cross-examine her. So the judge is pissed off at these folks, y'all. So Combs, and a fellow said, let me try. The judge said the court order said you have to establish good cause. That's why I'm asking. So as soon as Shapiro's going to say, he said, no, we cannot have multiple lawyers speaking on the same issue. You can ask her, did you send this video? If she says yes, it's not impeachment. So Ophelia said, I saw it yesterday. Her effect on the stand made it an act. We had to talk with our client. We think the witness affected it false. I think someone has determined who she is and sent us the video. So if y'all remember, everyone was saying they was not supposed to know who Mia was. Mia ain't supposed to be known. People thinking they know who she is. And if that's who they think it is, they found it. Let me tell you something. This done hit the internet. They knew it was going to hit. They could have did better. Did anybody get Mia face? No. But whoever is online, okay, doing the search for Mia and sent it to his lawyers, baby, they like, oh no, I found, y'all know it be investigators on this darn social media. It's crazy. All right. So he basically said, so the judge said take 5 minutes and confer. The answer was, where there is a good cause. If someone sent you at 1 a.m. and Combs still said we could just email our position, he said sure. And they went ahead, they emailed the position. Shapiro say some people on the internet think they have figured out who Mia is. We got this video from random people on the internet. We don't think this was ever posted on her social media. It was on someone's random website. Should we show it to you? So they went ahead and showed a video, but it was on the public screen. It wasn't on the public screen for everybody else to see, right? So prosecutors say they waited until the direct was over. So then they said when they saw it was yesterday. It was marked at 1750. Shapiro said he don't know because he asked, was it marked at 1750? The video is precluded. After a number of social media posts, the defense has used it. It's circulating. The defense theory is, that's what they're using, right? So Mr. Steele asked if she sent it. He said yes. He said, I'm going to ask about scrapbooks. The prosecutor and I have disagreement. I have 3 copies. One of the jurors to pass around. The honorable prosecutor and I disagree. So the judge said you can give it to them for a couple of minutes, bring Mia back, then the juror. So they went ahead and got Mia. Then they brought in the juror. Now this is where it get crazy because now people are finding out who Mia is, which is crazy. Okay, so now we're gonna get into it. So they asked her what was the Breakfast Club, right? It's the name of our camp. Post friend group still partying at breakfast. I was invited in once. The message from South Africa, you pounded hashtag this Diddy fan club. She said yes, it was ran by a girl who shamelessly promoted Diddy. She was so sweet. He said he was supposedly run on his birthday. How did you mark that? I want to forget it. I pushed it down. Are you finished? He said yes. You put aside, you saw you you put aside, you say you saw Mr. Combs abuse your sister, your best friend, Cassie. You put it aside and post this. She said, yes, you wrote Puff at iHeart. What are you doing here? She says she's promoting Puff's appearance on Blackish. It's a comedy show. Were you aware of the Me Too movement? That was a great movement. She said, yeah. What are these? She said, me and Puff at Burning Man did on Blackish. You loved Miss Ventura. You meant every word on your social media account. I didn't mean every word on my account, but I do love Cass. What's this? A popper shop of D Rock's brand, Invisible Bully. You promoted Mr. Combs. She said, yeah. You're saying this is not the way you felt. Objection, argumentative, just sustained. How about the you are the best unicorn rock star alien? She said she was trying to be unique. So when they asked her about D Rock, about the people in the photo, she said it was Diddy Mama, his son Christian, D Rock, Faham, Tron, doing these IDs. Combs is whispering to, while they're doing that, Combs is whispering to Anna Philo. And Mr. Steele asked, did she work March of 2017? She said it was confusing. On December 6th, 2016, you were notified. I was getting missed messages. So she said she was promoting the Bad Boy Reunion tour, and she was doing a documentary on it. And he decided to show her the 1700. She said, I remember this. You did this. It was a nice of me. You made this and gave it to Mr. Combs. She said, yes. So she made him something, and she wrote at the top, Puff, sometimes life go by I can't talk today. By a speed. I hope on this day, I hope you can sit back and consider. I made this book of articles from 1991 to now. And they asked her, did she mean those words? She said, yeah, he said to me, I used to look at the world the way you do. But now that I've done everything, it was sad. Wow. He told her he used to look at the world the way that she did. But now that I've done everything, it was sad. The man you say ruined your life. I could tell you what my therapist had said. So Mr. Steele was saying, how could you do this? It's called psychological abuse. No one did anything. What could be more terrible? Objection sustained. So Mia said there are textbooks out there. It's called an abuse relationship, but you're not dating Mr. Combs. She said abuse relationships are not limited to that. There are streaming documentaries about it. No one flinched at his behavior. So she basically saying, hey, we all were traumatized. We all experienced this abuse from him. We just didn't flinch at it. We got so abstained in our mind of what it was, and we just accepted the behavior. So they took a break and came back. And he asked her, where is it that you confronted him and said, you have violated me, actual or otherwise? He said, I need your help. Objection overruled. After St. Bart's, I confronted him about his behavior, not the other thing. You told Cassie she was a superstar and should get money. I don't remember that. Are you lying about Mr. Cole, Mr. Misbehavior? I have not lied to anyone at all. Isn't it true it didn't happen as many times as you said? Everything I say in this courtroom is true. Why did you make the scrapbook? You could talk to an expert about essay. That's what Mia said. So when he asked her, well, why did you make this scrapbook? She said, you could talk to an expert about essay. Could we hand the scrapbooks to the jurors? Take a brief look for a couple of minutes. So the judge is like, listen, y'all can take a brief look at the scrapbook she made for a couple of minutes. And it was passed around. And as it's being passed around, he asked her about the scrapbook. He said, let me ask you, how did you make this scrapbook? She said, I researched and researched for archives. And he basically said, oh no. So And then he said archives in the library. She said his company. And he said, but you did all the work. She said, I did. Did you make Mr. Combs a birthday video? So she said she put one together. She asked people if they wanted to send it in a video. He said, I want to ask you about your last four digits as he started reading them out. Prosecutor said objection. So the judge said, just ask if she recognized a number. Like, you ain't got to do all that. Brian, just ask the damn girl if she I'm telling you, the judge ain't having it. I already know. The judge like, just answer. The judge said, listen, we got about 5 weeks. All y'all, just get on with it. So Mia say she recognized her number. And then he read the message. He said, I'll be KK. And she read the messages. So she said, my life is over. I might as well. And still acting like KK, call me back or I'm calling your parents. She said, I'm so sorry. I'm with Laura Gomez. I'm not going to say effing tell you. You are. The pain hurts so effing bad. Who is Laura Gomez? So she was HR at the Combs Enterprise. He said, okay, you start. I'm going to unalive myself. My life is over. He said, yes. He said, you could have quit. She said, I didn't see it that way. He said, why? There's a pretty long psychological explanation. I was around him 24 hours a day. This is all I knew. Why aren't you happy to be severed? Isn't this great? She said, not then. So he says, Your Honor, he says, we'll let the jury go for the weekend. Don't read anything about the case. If you have notifications, turn them off. All rise for the jury. Judge Mia, see you Monday. So Mia go ahead and leave. And this is when they have a conversations about the exhibit. They asked her so the prosecutor asked what was authenticity of the last exhibit. They said they got it from the government, but it's different format with an unknown number. And so the judge said Mr. Steele suggested that suggested that the green boxes are Miss KK, but is an unknown person is KK. We spoke with Mr. Karam's counsel. We had to put it into different format. There's crashed our computer. Mia said that the number was Mrs. Karam. You can explore on redirect. So, and Philo said Mia affected yesterday. Maybe it was real, maybe it was not. We have a right. And the judge said, if you're using the exhibit as impeachment, tell me I can't read your mind. And Ophelia said, we're trying to be courteous and move the trial along. So basically, Ophelia said, listen, we're trying to be courteous and move it along, but it seems like because of what we're getting from people, from emails saying that this is her, people finding out who she is, it's going to take us a little longer, but they're working hard as they can. So Ophelia says she has PTSD. And then, prosecutors say we have 4-3 objection too. And Ophelia said we can write a letter on this over the weekend. The judge said it's a 20-second happy birthday video. For the good of the order, maybe the parties can come up with an order. The prosecutor said the next witness was going to be Enrique Santos, the Eddie Garcia, who I understand will invoke the Fifth Amendment. We they can start this at 8:55 a.m. and then they have a hotel custodian. So they have a list that they emailed. So basically it's saying from the dear judge, this is what it's saying. This was on the 15th. Let me see. More for the jury coming in the government defense is referred to multiple communications to the court about it. Okay. So then they talked about the power of they appealed for 17 subpoenas and they want to oppose by Sunday night, which I just read y'all that they want to talk to Cassie's lawyer. And they said if he runs out of minutes, they can get more. And the judge said I can order relief if warranted. And then they went and adjourned for the day. Um okay, so I think they left at 3 today. They didn't stay no longer than 4. We see that. It's Friday. Of course they're not. Mia Mia does suffer from PTSD. Just like the rest of them. They're gonna go back with Mia come Monday. Now they have the videos. I don't know if they're gonna show it. We'll know by Monday. But I'm gonna say this: prosecutors got it in the bag. But I'm gonna tell you something. The defense team is working on it to make it at least be not a life sentence. They're working very, very hard. I don't know who's sending them videos. I don't know who seen Mia and realized who she was. But damn, that is crazy work. Mia has Mia is like the rest of them that work with him. Hey, listen, this is all I know. I don't know anything. I can't go anywhere and do these things. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't take a resume and say this is who I work for, because who I work for can sit here and basically make sure I don't work at all. So my question is, because they all have worked with him, we see D Rock now open himself up a restaurant. But the fact is that he say that him and that Cassie and Diddy would fight a lot. He say all it was just fighting. That's crazy to me, because I have so many questions of why do you think I said it was toxic? I did. Now if they fought, I mean, we read and heard people say that it was fights. We did. But I have so many thoughts of, at some point, instead of forcing these people, because we know Cassie had a hate for Gina, did y'all even take a time to say, I'm going to break this up? Like, we just going to leave it where it's separate? Y'all just need to separate from each other. We know she your artist, but I think it's best she go over there, you go over there, just leave her alone, because it's not working. Everybody is getting your cash end of the stick of how you feel with this girl. And it ain't working. It ain't working, brother. And just left her alone. So I'm just waiting to see what's gonna happen Monday. Now I'm reading it from y'all. Am I at the trial? No, but I know for sure, because I've been in courtrooms, how the judges are feeling. They're really sick and tired. So I know for sure. But I can't say if I was there, I would love to go. But you know what? From hearing from people, you got to get up early and be there and all that stuff. And yeah. If I had the funds to go, I would go. But I don't. And it's okay. But I'm gonna keep reading it and giving it to y'all like I've been doing. Maybe when they have a next big case, I'll go. I'll tell you what, if we do the Brene and catch up on the stuff with Brene, I'll go to North Carolina. I will go to North Carolina for y'all. I would. But I'm gonna say this. I hope you guys enjoyed this live. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. I will see you guys tomorrow. We are gonna do Brene update, because baby, it is juicy. And I have a new update about Christian Gold's aunt. And I told y'all, and I told y'all, and I told y'all that girl, that lady, they're eating off of Jennifer. We're gonna talk about that tomorrow. They're eating off Jennifer. Oh, I got the video. Y'all gonna be like, what? Yeah, Jennifer is a meal ticket for him. We're gonna talk about the folks going at it on this internet. We gonna discuss Uncle Nate in TikTok tomorrow. Cause Brianna and hiding, she ain't saying much. Excuse me, but baby, when the tables turn, I told y'all that, people don't lie. But tomorrow, I'm gonna tell you, I did do a reading on Christian Gold and Jennifer, and I did say in my reading was right that yes, they are using Jennifer, and I'm gonna explain it to y'all tomorrow. Don't forget to hit that like button. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Later.